Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Today's story is a masterclass in turning the tables on bad customer service. When one woman ordered a dress online and got sent the wrong size, the company's refusal to help her led to a clever plan that left them none the wiser and left her with exactly what she wanted. Let's dive in and see how she pulled off this brilliant comeback. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. A tale of fashion justice, outsmarting shady customer service for the perfect dress. About 3 weeks ago, I found this really cute dress on an Instagram page and I couldn't resist ordering it. I received the dress and, to be honest, I really liked it, except for one major issue. They didn't send me the right size. The dress they sent was about 3 sizes smaller than what I ordered. Immediately, I texted the page to let them know about the mistake, and they responded by saying they only accept returns if the item is checked in front of the delivery man. The reasoning was that if there's a fault with the product, the delivery man could return it directly to the seller. Unfortunately, in my apartment complex, delivery men aren't allowed inside the building due to some recent crimes in the area, so I wasn't able to check the parcel right when I received it. I explained this to them, and they replied that they would initiate an exchange, but it would take a couple of days. Days went by, and I texted them multiple times over the course of the next 3 weeks. I called the number they provided, but it turned out to be invalid. When I managed to get another number, they hung up on me as soon as I explained the issue. It became clear to me that they had no intention of actually following through with the exchange. It didn't benefit them, and I was just left waiting, frustrated and stuck with the wrong size. But I wasn't about to let my money go to waste. Plus, I liked the quality of the dress and wanted to make sure I got it in my actual size. So I came up with a plan. Here's what I decided to do. I would place another order for the exact same dress, this time in the correct size. The catch was that I would be returning 2 dresses, one the wrong size they'd sent me and the other the new one I ordered. My strategy was to tell the delivery man that the first dress didn't fit and that I needed to return it. Since the payment was cash on delivery, I wouldn't lose any money by returning the smaller one. I placed the order through their Instagram page using a different account and gave them the address of a neighboring building. I used a different phone number to place the order, hoping they wouldn't recognize me. There was one big chance they might screw up and send me the wrong size again, but I decided to take the risk. The company confirmed my order, and when the delivery man arrived, I asked him to wait downstairs while I tried on the dress. Thankfully, this time the size was correct, and I was able to exchange the dress. I told the delivery man that the first one didn't fit and I'd like to return it. The plan worked perfectly, and I got the dress in my size. Feeling accomplished, I blocked them from both my accounts and unsent all the personal information I'd shared with them in direct messages. Honestly, I was a bit low-key proud of how everything turned out. It felt like a big F you to them for their bad customer service and shady tactics. Sometimes you just have to take matters into your own hands, and in this case, it felt like sweet, sweet justice. Very well managed, OP. You just described abysmal customer service, so the least you could do is devise a plan to fix things. If I were you, I'd also badmouth them on social media, telling your bad experience with them, and omitting how you fixed it. And our second story. Standing my ground, the Easter basket drama. 27-year-old female. I've never been close to my sister, Emma, 32-year-old female. She'd always insult or criticize me when she got the chance, and we both resented each other growing up. She semi-apologized for this as an adult, but we still don't have a relationship. She also lives completely across the state with her husband and 2 kids, Ruby, 8-year-old female, and James, 6-year-old male. I've only met my niece and nephew in person twice, and I don't keep up with their lives. Every year, a dozen friends and I will all get together for an Easter basket making party. We all chip in and bring supplies to make about 300+ mini Easter baskets for less fortunate kids. They're given to a local domestic violence shelter and to the local children's hospital. My parent friends also bring their children to be the Easter Bunny's helpers and follow his special instructions. Each basket needs 5 plastic eggs with fun-sized candy inside, 1 king-size candy bar, 1 snack, and 1 activity, like a coloring book. They also get to make one for themselves. The The older ones find it corny, but they all enjoy designing/customizing the baskets and are proud to do a good thing. There are also food and games at these parties, so everyone has a good time. Last Monday, Emma texted me out of the blue asking, "I saw Gina's post about the baskets." Gina made a Facebook post about the baskets her son designed and about supporting the community. When will Ruby and James be getting theirs? I wasn't even sure how Emma knew Gina. I responded back that the baskets were meant for the kids whose parents couldn't afford them. Emma got mad and texted back how she's struggling financially and we don't make a lot of money. Her husband's an insurance broker and Emma works part-time as a receptionist. They also don't have any outstanding medical bills or anything like that. They aren't rich, but they can certainly afford to buy their own Easter baskets. I asked why she would expect me to donate Easter baskets to two kids who I don't even know, and more importantly, who have families that can provide them with baskets already. Now Emma's finding any posts about the party and leaving passive-aggressive comments like, "If only Ruby and James could have had one too," and "It's too bad Ruby and James didn't have a more attentive auntie." My aunt's calling me selfish because I could easily afford 2 more baskets with my salary. My mother's also contacted me saying she's disappointed in me for allowing my pettiness to hurt Ruby and James' holiday, which all either have nothing to do with it or are beyond the point. I feel that I shouldn't take away those baskets from less fortunate kids to give to ones whose parents can actually afford their own. I don't know if I'm somehow dense or being an a-hole since they are my niece and nephew. Update. I thought I should provide an update on the situation. Emma had fed our mother and aunt an altered story. She had told them how I was just making Easter baskets for my friends' kids and refused to give Ruby or James one. My mother had no idea they were charity baskets, and she scolded Emma over the phone, saying that she should be ashamed of herself. Our aunt said she didn't get why you couldn't just set aside 2 for your own niece and nephew. Turns out both kids already had Easter baskets, but my aunt still argued how Ruby and James were still being excluded. Luckily, my aunt seems to have moved past it. As for the Facebook issue, I was seriously tempted to use one of the petty responses you guys suggested in the comments, but I realized it would validate Emma's drama and fuel her fire, which is exactly what she would want. I sent her a private message. Almost all of her passive-aggressive comments had been deleted or reported as spam. I told her, "Emma, these Easter baskets are intended for less fortunate children. They're sent to domestic violence shelter and children's hospital. The children in these facilities have no control over the circumstances that brought them there. The families of the children staying there cannot afford to provide them with the same gifts that Ruby and James have the privilege of taking for granted. I apologize if you felt excluded. You're welcome to join next year's party. However, if you're willing to take an Easter basket from a homeless/sick child in order for Ruby and James to have a freebie, you need to take a good look at yourself and what kind of example you're leading." Emma got mad again. She said how I'm not driving 4 hours for some damn basket. Then she started ranting about her and her husband's financial struggles. I replied back that, from what I understand, your annual income is approximately middle-class income. I also saw your recent posts about your week-long girls' retreat to Coachella and your spring break vacation at the Hawaiian Aulani Resort. These vacations indicate to me that you are not struggling. Emma got even angrier, so I finally responded back, explaining that I want to have a good relationship with her and her children, but that can't happen unless she's willing to act mature and put the drama aside. Emma started hurling insults at me, so now she's blocked. It's been 2 days since she's been blocked, yet I already feel like there's a weight that's been lifted off my shoulders. What's wrong with all those entitled people? So jealous, so petty. And the family pressure is just the cherry on top. You're doing a great thing for your community, and people should be proud of you. Your sister's a giant a-hole, and I feel bad for her kids. But it's better to not give them or her anything, or you'll never see the end of it. She'll harass you for more gifts and money over time. Your aunt and mother should just send her Easter baskets themselves if they didn't already. And our last story. Destroyed property and revenge. Years ago, I, now 48, lived in far upstate New York where snowmobiles would often grace the landscape during the winter months. My place was in a small town with a fairly large yard. The previous summer, I'd invested about $10K into landscaping, including a nice fence that ran the length of my property. In the winter, however, snowdrifts had piled up, leaving only about 3 feet of the black fence visible against the white snow. One day, while I was outside, a group of snowmobilers approached me and asked if they could cut through my lawn. I pointed to the fence and explained that it ran all the way around my property with no access points except for my driveway. After hearing my response, they went on their way. I thought that was the end of it, but about a week later, another heavy snowfall occurred, and this time there were no drifts. While I was at work, I got a call from one of my neighbors informing me that my fence had been damaged near the back, with tracks clearly visible from snowmobiles. When I got home and inspected the damage, it was clear that someone had driven through my property. Over the course of the winter, I kept noticing more snowmobile tracks showing up on my lawn. When the snow finally melted, I decided to take action. I built a new fence, this time reinforced with concrete, but designed to look like wood. The next snowfall came, and the following day, when I got home from work, I was greeted with quite the scene. A wrecker was parked in my driveway, towing 6 totaled snowmobiles. Several sheriff's deputies were on the property, questioning the riders about why they'd chosen to ride through a privately owned area. The riders claimed I'd given them permission, which I quickly refuted by pointing to the "No Trespassing" sign I'd placed on the front of my new fence. As a result, they received tickets and their snowmobiles were confiscated. Interestingly, my neighbor also took his own measures. He drove 6-foot rebar into the ground on the edge of his lawn near the sidewalk, leaving enough of the metal exposed just above the ground to tear up any snowmobile tracks. He did this around the same time I was replacing my fence, making sure there were no easy routes for trespassers to take. In the end, the snowmobilers learned the hard way that you can't just trespass on someone's property. And it was a lesson I'll always remember. Great way to shut down entitled behavior. It's wild that the snowmobilers thought they could keep trespassing even after being told no and damaging your fence. The reinforced fence was the right move, practical and a clear message that enough was enough. The fact that their snowmobiles ended up totaled and they faced legal consequences? That's justice served. Your neighbor's rebar strategy was equally great, making it a united front against the trespassers. What's everyone's take? Should more property owners take such preventative measures? Or do you think it could escalate conflicts further? Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.